Started. What is up? I'm ready for another week. What's up with the hair? Yeah, I know. All right. I gotta do this now. No, yeah, it's still there. I've at this point I've just accepted it. But yeah, I'm just gonna keep letting it grow. So let's start off this week with my top pairs, the ones that I'm going to be the most interested in. Very simple, very straightforward. You guys know exactly we called this last week. Pretty much we said the breakouts out of this structure level. We will then wait for the retest of the structure level to then have the push to the upside, retest of 8,500. Do you guys remember this trade from last week? I have somebody that's making the clips. I hope we're on here. So yeah, I already have someone that's created the clips for me. I'm gonna upload them now to the chat. It's literally crazy. Every single week I call a move, easily a move. And at the end of this call, I'm gonna explain exactly what I was saying by like the position trading and all that stuff. But yeah, pretty much caught this perfectly from last week. You guys already know I don't like taking the trade under the area of interest. So I was waiting for the break above the area of interest. Once we broke above the area of interest, we never came back and retested it, broke above this one, never came back and retested it. So I couldn't get into the trade. But what matters is that we got the overall move correct. For this following week, I think we are going to now have a retracement to retest this weekly body and then retest daily structure level just to pretty much create a higher low and continue going to the upside. And the 4-hour kind of is also destined to retest it because we broke above it and then retest it. And then the EMA will hopefully continue to be used for longs. I am not interested in the counter trend trades to the downside. I do think we are at the exact spot where we can have the pullback to the downside. If you notice right here, this is a level of resistance support. So this is a nice area where it could potentially have a push down. If not, it can probably squeeze a little bit higher and come into here before having the push down to the downside before then going to the upside, right? That is NZD CAD. Then we have USD CAD, which I think one of you guys mentioned it last week or it was on the live stream. Weekly retest of this body structure level right here. Daily retesting structure. Daily is bullish. Everything is literally looking perfect, exactly how I wanted to. Let's actually leave that. And then for me on the 4-hour, the 4-hour is bullish as well. If you notice, it went bearish, shifted bearish, and then we then shifted bullish, created the higher low at the area of interest, and we are exactly where I want to take a trade to buy. I am literally ready to pull the trigger on this like right now. The only reason why I don't, it is because it is Sunday. So I'll wait until New York tomorrow because I want to see if we can maybe create a bigger wick so I can kind of put my stop loss under it. But this trade to me is looking A1 ready to go perfect. The 4-hour already has the right shoulder, left head, right shoulder pullback. And if we go down to the 30-minute time frame, if you notice, this had the market shift right here. So we had lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. We shifted, and at this higher low, this would have been my entry signal right here perfectly. But we didn't take it because that was Friday when that happened. Luckily, we didn't because now we're avoiding that little bit of a drawdown right now. But I do think we can maybe dip into here a little bit more. If not, all I will be waiting for is this right here. Retest above that. Trades pretty much a buy from that point. So this is actually my number one pair. If that makes sense, type 1. If it doesn't, type 2. Like it looks very, 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 very clean. Fire, perfect. All right, perfect. A bunch of ones. Perfect, perfect. Yeah, it's literally like an A1 to me. This is my number one pair for the week. Just like how I have it. Fire, bro. Congrats, man. That's what I like to hear. AUD, USD. So I mean, yeah, I already analyzed all of these pairs. So I did it earlier before getting on the call. I don't really, what was I looking at this one? I mean, I like it. So obviously we're bearish on the weekly. So you could tell the weekly is still bearish. And then we are retesting structure level 1, structure level 2. And we notice the daily lower high is still here. So we can still come into this area of interest 2 of the weekly time frame to obviously have the sell to the downside. And then all we need is for the 4-hour to then go bearish. So when I go over here to the 4-hour, if you notice the 4-hour is creating higher highs and higher lows on its way to that area of interest. So if we look here, we have higher high. If we make it here, then we have, this is our new higher low. So all we do is wait for the break of the 4-hour higher low, wait for the retest structure of the structure, retest of the EMA, retesting off of the area of interest, sell to the downside. Very simple. If we have that, then we will more than likely have a daily bearish engulfing. If we have a daily bearish engulfing, we will then enter on the wick pullback, which is the retest on the 4-hour and all that stuff. If that makes sense, type 1. It doesn't, type 2. Perfect. Can you please check AUDCHF? Just want to see if my analysis would match yours. Okay, I'll check it out. Euro AUD. So if you guys remember from last week, called this as well. Pretty much I said we are at a higher high right now. We have to create a higher low to come back, and it's literally the same exact thing. Like it's the same thing week after week. You guys notice it's boring. You just see the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. So now that we're retesting this structure level right here, well, we're not retesting it just yet, right? So pretty much what we predicted last week is to have the pullback into this level happen perfectly. So now what I do expect is for this weekly candlestick to kind of stall for a little bit. After it stalls, then we will have the push to the upside. This was just kind of a counter trend trade that I called here on the lower time frames. Once we had the shift to structure, caught it, got out a little bit early, could have maybe squeezed a little bit more, but that wouldn't be ideal for me. And I also called these little short trades after it broke and retested under the zone. So pretty much been calling this whole entire move here. I think it still needs, the weekly still needs some rejection to head to the upside. Like if you notice, like before we have a weekly move up, like right now where we just are is literally on the first candlestick of a pullback. We still kind of have to stall and do this a little bit before having to push up. So I feel like we're still early on that move. We still kind of need to pull up here and stall for like 1 or 2 candlesticks before actually having to push to the upside. So I actually just wanted to show you guys this trade. I'm not really that interested in it just because I don't like how the weekly is looking. I do think that we could still have some move to the downside. So it was just more to show you guys from the trades of last week. So we'll put it at the bottom for now. Euro GBP. I don't even know why this is here. What was I looking at this? Yeah, I'm not interested in Euro GBP, so we can actually take that one out. Gold. So this is what I was talking about earlier today in the chat. I'm not sure if all of you guys got a chance to see it, but we literally called this full pullback perfectly to area of interest 1 or area of interest 2. Now we've created a higher high perfectly. I do understand that this moved very fast. Opportunities in here for me weren't any, right? Because my first entry was here at the retest of this structure with the EMA. Never happened. Cool. It's not the end of the world. The next entry would have been at the retest of this. Didn't happen. Cool. It did on the lower time frames. You guys know I don't really like gold on the lower time frames. So what I was kind of saying earlier in the chat, and tell me what you guys kind of think about this, right? So like in terms of like a bank or like a institution or like a fund, to my knowledge, is they're just trying to like they just want to get this, right? Like they just want to get this overall or this overall or this overall. And I feel like I literally don't miss when it comes to that. Like I'll get the overall 80% of the time, right? Very rarely does this change, or am I wrong? And when I am wrong, I can kind of just shift my analysis and I get the direction that way. I feel like I've been pretty good at that, at just guessing the direction overall that way. Like it's gonna continue going bullish based off of certain zones. So if I were to be like in a bank, I would just take like a position trade here at this bullish engulfing on the weekly, probably my stop loss somewhere down here. And then I'm telling you right now, gold can make it to, is this all-time highs? This is all-time highs, really? Well, this is not a good example, but I think gold can clearly come back to these all-time highs over here because I'm just going with the majority of the trends. And it's very simple. I think if gold breaks under this structure level here, I think if gold just breaks under the structure level and does something like this, it's going to come to this area of interest 1, 2, and then this area of interest over here, like as my next take profit. So I'm gonna keep doubling down on this like overall move in one direction and figure out how I can capitalize off of it, because it's like what I realize is I get the overall move right, but I don't enter on the day trades because I want to have all like we try to do with my strategy is just try to do this, try to get this as short as possible so we can get a risk to reward as fast as possible. That's the whole entire point of the strategy. That's literally it. Because you can take this trade here, you can take this trade here, anywhere in the middle, but your stop loss would have been too big. So all the strategy you try to do is just figure out how to get a smaller stop loss so you get a greater risk to reward faster. So I'm going to figure out a way how to capitalize off of these bigger moves, with obviously the risk to reward making sense, and obviously update you guys on that. Gold untradeable now. I mean, you're at the all-time high, right? So I'm good. I mean, if you just like my continuous prediction is just very simple. Just keep it going. Retest, keep it going to the upside. Like there's really nothing else for me that is different than that. But for me, gold, I'm not interested in it. I just wanted to show you guys that what I was trying to explain. So we'll get gold out of the way. And then we have here Euro JPY. Yeah, so Euro JPY, we called it last week as well. You guys remember that we have, so where's my take profit for gold? The structure level. Like it would be, so let's say if I would buy here, if I would buy here, my first take profit would be this previous structure high. If it breaks that, it'd pretty much just be the next structure high, which would be this body right here. I don't want to go based off of the wicks. I want to go based off of the body. So first take profit that I buy here would be this structure point, which would be this one, and then this one. If it breaks above that, then it would be this one. I mean, setting a take profit right to these wicks, it's like you're literally squeezing the shit out of the lemon. Like you're like breaking through it. You're going all the way. The price has never been higher than this. So like, I don't know. I don't want to be that guy to get it all the way at the end. Just my risk tolerance. But yeah, so Euro JPY, we said it last week. We were looking for sales at this area right here. Same exact example. Pretty much predicted the whole entire move. I just couldn't manage to get in on the lower time frames to have a tight stop loss, right? This had a huge move very fast. I wasn't able to get in, but we were right of the overall move. I was expecting for a retest of this structure level to head to the downside. This would have been my first take profit. So literally been calling every single move. I am going to figure out a way though how to start capitalizing off of these moves, even if it's like taking trades off of the weekly. Like bet if I got to put a trade here, put a 200 pip stop loss, and then putting a 500 pip take profit, like that just hit in a week. You get me? Like, I mean, it might be like a huge stop loss, but to also huge take profit, this is all that matters. So if this hits in 3 weeks and I take it on a separate account and it's just 2-3% a month, you do that times 12, you know, you're making 20-30% a year off of just position trades, swing trades that are causing you no stress, that you know they are literally going to make that move. If that, I think I explained it the right way there, right? Because it's not like I'm gonna change my whole entire trading to this. Just put like instead of putting money into those index funds or whatever the banks want to put your money into, you just put it into these type of trades, which they're gonna make it there over time. Like for example, let me see if I can make sense now. Like USD CAD, we know that this is bullish on the weekly, on the monthly. Like this is just bound to make this high up here. Like it's just gonna do it over time, right? So if all you kind of want to risk is like if you think it's gonna make it up here, all you kind of have to do is just risk like 1 or 2% on it. So let's say this would be my profit. I mean, this would be my entry, let's say, right? I'd put my stop loss under here because I think if price breaks under this structure level, I think we could start heading to the downside. So I think if price breaks under here, my trade was completely wrong overall. And then there's pretty much no cap to the upside because this is going to go up over time. So I could just set a separate trade, a separate account to just catch these big moves overall instead of putting it into these weird ass bank funds that they don't even know what the fuck they're doing, honestly. Like I went to go talk to a financial advisor and I was like, dude, no, like you're not making sense right now. So does that make sense? Kind of what I mean with these trades? If it doesn't make sense and I totally sound like an idiot, you guys can totally let me know. I will not take offense to it. Makes perfect sense. So you're basically betting with the higher time frames and catching them on a separate account, same risk. Yeah, exactly. Same risk, just bigger trades. Can we get it for same thing, just higher time frame? Yeah, exactly. Same thing. Yeah, exactly. Asking financial advice to a broker advice is like getting a fat personal trainer. Yeah. How much did the banks make? So they told me they can make anywhere in 3 years and on their high risk ones, like I'm talking about like very volatile. In 3 years, they can make anywhere from 7 to 12% in 3 years. So I was just like, that's terrible. That's like what? Like you're averaging like 4% a year. That's a tenth of a percent a month. So I literally made absolutely no sense to me. I was like, bro, that like I could just do what I already do, but with the bank mindset in a way. Because they said our minimum investment is 3 years. Like you can pull out whenever, but the most ideal is to have three years. And I'm like, bro, that I just didn't like the sound of it. And right now they were down 30%. They're down overall 30%. So it'll take them like 4 years to come back from the 30%. I'm like, bro, you don't even make sense. But yeah, so for this week, my top three would be USD CAD, NZD CAD, and AUD USD for sales. Euro JPY and Euro AUD were simply just for example purposes. That is it. Yeah, let's go check out the AUD CHF. AUD CHF. We'll take all this off over here. AUD CHF. Oh, it's a fire trade, bro. Congratulations on finding this trade, man. It's a fire trade. So we have here, this is fire trade, man. All right, so we have here 1, 2, 3, 4. Weekly is bearish. And then we can kind of adjust it somewhat like this for the daily to kind of have a little bit of some skin in the game. Daily is clearly bearish as well. And the 4-hour is technically bullish. So this would be the current 4-hour higher low. So pretty much very similar to these other trades up here. This would be the higher low. The most ideal trade you would need is for this higher low to break on this pullback structure right here. You just wait for the shift and then you sell. Does that make sense? This is fire, bro. This is a very great trade. Whoever found this. This is very, 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 very great trade. Very, very. I'm like, listen to this. I'm gonna even put an alarm here because if this does this, I'll take it with you, man. Breaking structure. Yeah, I would love that. I would love this move. I mean, I guess the only thing I don't like is like where we're selling into. We're pretty much selling into like the lowest point it's ever been, and this was due to like news and stuff. I remember when this happened. So that's kind of the only thing I don't like. But look, for example, perfect example right here with what I was mentioning with like the position trade. Actually, I'm going to show it with GBP CHF. Maybe this could be a little bit more clear. So GBP CHF, we are at a pretty literally all-time low. We've been stuck under here for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, almost a year. We've been stuck under this move right here. We know historically, every single time we're above this point right here, 16800, we always bounce up, bounce up, bounce up, bounce up. So for me, it kind of makes sense that the moment we break above this right here, it should just be green light to take a buy to the upside. Because not a day trade, like I don't want to get like a little day trade from here to here. I can just take a big position trade. It's literally what I have right here, big potential position trade. And I'll just take a buy right here. My stop loss can be anywhere under here. And my first take profit could be at this position right here. So this whole entire move to the downside, right? We're obviously on the monthly time frame. all of this is taken about 1 year to move. But imagine this going to the upside could happen in this same quickness right here. So 4 months. So it's just more of like a longevity thing. It's like a side account that you do. So it just like does passive stuff. But I'm gonna start testing this out and I'll let you guys know how I end up going with it. But yeah, that's pretty much everything that I have for the